All right, what's going on? How's it been? You know, it's been so hot out. Holy smokes. I don't know how I do it every day. You know, I work outside and it's over 100 degrees and I don't know what I'm doing out there, you know. It's too much, you know. This is crazy. Way too hot for me. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or if it's global warming. It's, you know, a real thing that's actually happening, and I don't know, man. It's a hot time. It's a hot time, and so what I've decided to do is I got a little oil cooler. It's just like 10 rows. It's small, but you know what? That's fine because it's better than nothing. It's going to be hooked up through the oil filter housing, the oil cap. Normally like a plastic cap, but this time it's going to be aluminum. It's got AN fittings. We're going to run some hose, AN hose. It's going to go down right to the oil cooler. That's going to go behind the kidneys on the grill of the BMW. We're going to be doing that. Obviously an oil change. We're going to be running some liquid moly. That stuff is fantastic. I love it, you know, especially with the fluorescent dye. Put a black light on it. See if you have any leaks coming from anywhere. You know, anything fresh. Also, we're going to be doing some cooling system upgrades too. Maybe this weekend I might build a expansion tank out of aluminum. Hoping to. But what we definitely will be doing is we're going to be doing hard pipes for the radiator hoses. Those are going to be 1 3/4 inch aluminum. That's what we're going to be running. So I think that'll be pretty good. Aluminum is a great heat sink, so it should help the vehicle cool down even more so, you know, with the cooling fan blowing across the radiator tubing. I just have straight tube, so it's going to be pie cut radiator tubing. Try it out. Let's see how it does. You know, I think it's going to be freaking awesome. All right, so we got the cap installed. It actually comes with 3 sensor ports. 1, 2, 3. These 2 AN fittings had to come off in order to screw this thing down on nice and tight, because they were not going to clear basically anything. The intake, everything's in the way, so you had to take those out first. And let me tell you what, that was a pain. They were like Loctited in, some sort of yellow Loctite or something. Man, that was ridiculous. They're on there super tight. Did not want to back off. And then tightening this thing down was a little different in itself. So, but it's all done. Everything's good. We're golden. And what we're going to end up doing is using 90s coming off of the cooler, the AN fitting right here. We're going to use 90 degrees. They come off. Then the lines are going to run down, but we're having a bit of clearance issues. I kind of want them to run right where this hose is. So that makes it a pain in the butt. And this hose is molded like this, I believe, because of the factory air box. So what we're actually going to do is I am going to make, it's going to be aluminum tube, so it's going to be silicone coming off, and then I'm going to have a 45 made, so it's actually going to come backwards, and then it'll be probably, it'll turn 45, and it's going to end up doing like at least 120 degree turn, come back straight down into here. All right, check it out. So we're coming along. It's working out pretty good. The pie cuts are going nice. Now I've got to a point where I've got to come up with a cut. You know, I started on both sides, here and here. That was a bit of the problem. I don't really recommend doing that, but I did. So now I've got to come up with this transition piece right here in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tape. I'm going to wrap that whole center, and then I'm going to cut the tape out. And then I will take that piece of tape and I will wrap it around my tube. That's going to help me get the length and the transition on both sides. It's going to be great. Other than that, everything's going great. What we have here is, this is going to be 90 degrees off, and we had to bring this hose out here and bring it back. That way we can route the cooler lines down through here. This gives me a nice little passageway right through here. It's perfect. So, see how it turns out. All right, sweet. So I got this upper hose all mocked up. pretty much how it's going to work out. It's going to give us all that room we need. It's going to be fantastic. It's just taped together right now, so I will weld it together whenever the time comes. I'm mocking up the lower radiator hose right now also, so I just want to weld them both at the same time. We don't have to weld one, design the other, weld it together. And this one, due to the fact that the AC compressor is still in the car, I'm going to design this to where I can keep the AC if I want it, but it makes it really tight. Super difficult. You can see super close. I mean, there will be clearance and it will never hit the belt, but still, you know, it's super tight. It's like almost a 90-degree transition I have to do coming right out. You need a little bit of flex in between the space. I got like a 1/4 inch space between the radiator and the aluminum coupler. So the aluminum tube, sorry. That'll work out. Now this is going to make my final transition, which is going to shoot this straight vertical in comparison to this. And then I need to actually clock it to where it's going to start coming in this direction so it can meet up with the thermostat. All right, so you've got it transitioning. Looks like it's going to be reaching the thermostat pretty well. It's clear of everything else. All right, the bottom hose is ready to go. It's probably really hard to see right now. But that is it. And you really want to make sure that you get that alignment as perfect as possible. You don't want to have it not lined up very well or pulling away, you know, cocked at an angle, because that's just going to put a lot of tension on there. So do your best. Tomorrow is another day. All right, these are installed. I messed up some of the welds. They don't look that great, but that's okay. Practice makes perfect. So these are hard hoses. They're installed. They look good. I think everything's gonna work out great with those. Had to do this so that we could run these oil lines over and through. Now I have this nice gap right here. The factory radiator hose is not angled like this because of the original air box that's going to be, it takes up a lot of space, so it's in the way. So the radiator hose comes in actually, and it blocks a lot of that. So we're good to go. It was a lot of work for those hoses, but you know what? They look really good. I'm actually super satisfied with them. And I think it's going to be fantastic, especially once we redo this air intake and we install the box. It'll look great. New mass air, everything's going to be real nice, real clean. Alright, so this is working out pretty good. We're on the oil cooler. Swing it down here, and yeah, I know I need a harness tuck. I got a lot of loose ends that need to be taken care of and whatnot, and it all will in due time. But from there, it routes. You guys see this? And that's where it's going to be. It's going to sit a little bit higher than that. It's going to be at the bottom of the radiator. I think I'm going to make some brackets that are going to attach it to this cross brace that goes across the front. So we will see. You know, it's looking pretty decent. That's what we got. All right, these are the brackets that we're going to be using to hold the oil cooler. I installed some rib nuts, bent these up pretty much by hand with a rubber mallet, hanging them off the side of the table. Works pretty well. They should fit. I gave it a little bit of an angle backwards so that it's not going to be touching the radiator. Should work out perfect. Awesome, guys. Oil cooler's mounted up. It's sitting at the bottom of the radiator. Still looks fine. I really like it. Behind the kidneys, you can see the hoses. The hoses are plumbed. Pretty nice, you know, it looks good. Coming up and around. And everything going to the front, you know, the lid's pretty good. You know, it's not too bad. We're in Mishimoto cooler and lines. Man, it's fantastic. You know, I don't have a temperature gauge installed yet. I need to make the cluster pod first, and then I'll get the gauge hooked up. One complaint is that this is leaking. This plug is leaking, and I tried to install the temperature sensor in there, and it went all the way down. So I'm gonna need to like probably put a washer in there. You know, it's NPT thread, so it's supposed to tighten down. You know, and it doesn't without a washer. So basically, just like this, I installed this water temperature sensor here, and I don't have it hooked up yet. The wires are still loose because I've not decided to run it. I need to get some TXL wire so I can run it. But you know, I welded the bung on, and it doesn't leak. It's perfectly fine. You know, it's great. So as far as the radiator hose goes, you can't beat it. You know, that stuff is fantastic. You know, I want to do this on my E92. All right, so overall, very satisfied with the hoses and the cooler. That's just great. Next video is going to be about the expansion tank. The expansion tank is already made, as you probably saw in this video, but you know what? I didn't get to post a video about that, and I'm going to. That was a really fun project. It works great, you know. That's all vibrant stuff also. So I will be posting that up soon, and can't wait, you know. And following videos after that, it's going to be tuning. Well, actually, you know what? We've got a full exhaust build coming. It's going to be header back all the way. I've got the exhaust manifold flange has already been arrived. All the tubing for the headers has arrived. The primaries. I got the secondary. Then we're gonna go. So it's gonna be 1 3/4 inch primaries to 2 inch secondaries to 3 inch all the way back. I got a vibrant resonator, vibrant muffler, and we're gonna do V-band clamps for everything. So it's gonna be fun. First time that I'm gonna build a full exhaust, and it's gonna be all TIG welded and pie cut. So it's gonna be awesome. Can't wait to do that. So when we get rolling on that, I'll see you guys again, and hopefully we'll be having good times. So stay cool. It's too hot outside.